What a night at Rogers Place. This one had everything. The Oilers end up winning it by a final score of 5-4 over the Columbus Blue Jackets in overtime. My goodness, so much to discuss right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in here on ESC. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Shawn, Belle, and Ben Thomson. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Please join the conversation. We want to hear from you. 780-218-9999. That's the text line. Or you can jump into the nasty chat if you're watching over on YouTube. And let's bring the boys in because we have a lot, like I said, to discuss as the Oilers pick up 2 points, snap a 3-game slide. Columbus has a 4-game losing streak. Guys, I mean, it looked good, spirited in the first period. You know, you get Frederick. He takes a fight with a tough customer in Matthew Olivier. And then I saw the shiner on him. Good on him. I don't think Olivier cares that he only has 1 goal this season. He will fight you, and that's what happened. And then we saw the Oilers creating some scrums in front. Then we saw them settle in and let a 1-0 lead get pissed away, and they were down a couple of goals. And then in the third period, Connor McDavid and basically Jake Wallman willed them back to a victory. Jack Roslovic scores in overtime on the breakaway. Great save, guys, from Stu Skinner on Charlie Coyle. There you go. You get the save that you wanted. And then it leads ultimately to the game-winning goal. All right, where do we want to start? Because there was good, there was bad, there was ugly tonight. Bellsy, you go first. Benny, jump in whenever you want. I mean, they got the win, not the prettiest way, but where do we go from here?
Oh, hold on 1 second. Sorry, Bell's muted. There you go.
No, I can hear him nicely.
Oh, there we go.
There, go ahead.
Am I unmuted now, Benny?
You're good.
Benny, how dare you?
I appreciate that,
So
buddy.
I just really wanted to go first.
No, I was just saying, the last time we did a pregame show was pretty negative. So let's start with some positives. Leaders lead. Connor McDavid took over the game in the third period. Great to see him be able to do that, elevate his game. And you could just see the whole bench just lift up when you start to see Connor McDavid dancing around the ice. The PK at the end with high pressure. You have, McDavid and Draisaitl out there pressuring all over the ice. Columbus is throwing pucks around. They're not settled. They're not getting into their breakout. And then they turn it over with Wallman pinching down the wall, and they get a lucky bounce and it goes in the back of the net. So those are all real good things that the Oilers did. The thing that I'm going to take away from this game, and they had their ups and downs. They had a great start. They had a very good start. It was a spirited start. Then in the second period, there was a dip, but they didn't quit in the game. You couldn't say that against Colorado. Here today, they didn't quit, and that's a big thing. And they battled their way back against a pesky Columbus Blue Jackets team.
Benny.
Yeah, that's, great summary. Obviously, there was some luck on the other side, especially with that tying goal. The highs and lows were very high and very low for me today.
They got booed off the ice in the second period.
And rightfully so. What a just god-awful period that second period was. After the first period where, the score was 1-1, and you could tell they were fighting it a little bit offensively, but at least there was some passion. There was some fight in that game. In that first period. There were hits, fights, guys, making plays. It was they were fighting the puck, it felt like, in that first period. They're trying to do maybe a little bit too much, but you could tell that they wanted to respond after Saturday night. And then they forgot about it in the second period. In the second period, they were just completely out to lunch. They just got caved in. That whole second period had pretty much no life. And in that third period, you walk out in the third period, Connor McDavid, he had his guy tonight. Just led by example. Just a great night for him. That spin around a goal to start the period was incredible. And from there, it was just trying to follow up each shift, but then Columbus would come back. It was such a weird third period, but They found a way, and I guess that's what you got to give it to them. Like, they found a way. They found a way to get a win in a game where it was very easy for them to roll over and quit once again. They showed some fight, got back in the game in the third period there, obviously with a lucky bounce, and got on Rossliffe to end in overtime. But yeah, let's hope this, once again, I feel like I said this a million times to start this year. Let's hope this trends in the right direction. Well, let's stir this boat around. Hopefully this turns things around a little bit. But yeah, I guess you'll take the win.
Absolutely. That's 2 more points for the Oilers, 7-6 and 5 now is their record, or pardon me, 7-6 and 4. And let's see if this is a good trend. Like Benny was saying, when you go into Philadelphia on Wednesday, then you get the Blue Jackets again, by the way, on Thursday. Text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. I see a bunch of texts I want to get to. I'll add this before we dive into the text line, you guys. That fan base tonight in the building, they wanted this team to win so bad. I was impressed with how positive the vibe was, considering what happened on Saturday night when you get humiliated by the Colorado Avalanche. That fan base, those people in the building tonight were there to cheer their team on. It was packed tonight. And then their booing was, like Benny said, well warranted. And then they were treated to a very fun comeback and a victory. So kudos to the fans tonight for not dumping on this team and giving up on them. They showed up. They showed up, unlike the Oilers in the second period. But then they were treated in the end. What?
I was just going to say, like, in the second period, I don't know, was it a lack of effort or was it a lack of execution? Because when you watch them play, like, they couldn't break out the puck.
To me, they settled back into old habits.
Yeah.
Which
but
is
like their execution in the second period was like, oh boy, because they couldn't break out, and then all of a sudden Columbus had them in the spin cycle, and they're just defending, and they were giving up lines for free, and they were doing things that they didn't do in the first period, and it was interesting because there was one sequence where Howard's line, I think it was Howard, Henrique, and Frederick were out on the ice, and they're caught out there for like a minute and a half.
Yep.
And Howard gets the puck. And instead of just like skating and trying to make a little play, getting it out, he just rips it off the glass, goes down for icing. They're back in the zone. Columbus gets to change, and it starts all over again. And it's like those little plays, like that's an execution play because you're gassed. It's like who's talking to Howard to say, like, chip the puck out, just get it out, let somebody change, as opposed to, ripping it down the ice and going for an icing. And then all of a sudden you're now stuck for 2.5 minutes. It was just like little plays like that I saw, or just prevented the Oilers from getting out of their zone, which caused, I guess that momentum swing. So that's why I asked the question, was it a lack of effort? Was it a lack of execution?
You know what? Lack of execution. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay, I have a bunch of text here. Let's be positive. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they had the effort. It just wasn't there execution wise. Bellsy, how about that? Like, I'm at the point now with this team. Like, they're so Jekyll and Hyde, shift to shift, period to period. Of you could say something about it. Sure, yeah, that's it, because it's like, the next shift, they'll amaze you, and then the shift after that, they'll just absolutely floor you with how poor they execute or their effort. That's how it's been so far. I'm going to read a couple texts, and I'm going to get some thoughts on something that I noted. Colorado Rusty texted in and said, a lot more desire tonight, still plenty of execution issues. So Bellsy, Colorado Rusty's there with the execution thing. Glad the coach put Bouchard's ass on the pine. That's something I was going to bring up. He missed the last 8 minutes of the first period. The sequence in his last 2 shifts was he took that penalty. Maybe you think it's a soft call, sure. But there was also the goal against as well. So not good for Bouchard. Colorado Rusty says accountability. McDavid was not losing this damn game, that's for sure. What a game by him. Let's go to Chris G. Texted, says, I'd rather have my face beaten up than get my ankle broken. It's in reference to the fight from Trent Frederick against Matthew Olivier. And then this text says, after the benching, I thought Bouchard was still forcing things, not making good plays till the third period. He really turned it around. Hopefully it was a sign of him turning around because this team won't make it very far if he doesn't find his game. And, lots of text coming in. This one just says, Tom, this team looks exactly the same. I have heard you say these exact things. It will be okay for the Oilers. Yeah, it's just we're in this cycle again. It feels like. One more here from Conroe, Texas, who says, very happy for the win, but after the first 10 minutes, the effort was once again just not there. If the Oilers play like this on the road, they lose 6 out of the next 7. On the plus side, there's a worse goalie in the NHL than Stuart Skinner. Thanks, Jet. Talking to Jet Reeves there. So. All right, your reaction to some of those texts that came in, and the Bouchard benching.
Yeah, it was.
Do you want
I just want to ask you guys this: like, was that the proper time for Bouchard bench out of all the mistakes he has made this year? Like, and all the times we've talked about this on the postgame show, he needs to be sat down. He needs to go watch this game from the press box. He takes a 2-minute slash, and then he's out there for the goal against, like right after the penalty he took. Was that the proper time, do you guys think, to bench him?
Benny,
yes.
Can I just jump? Yeah. Enough is enough, right? Sorry, go ahead, Belzy.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Like it kept going and going and going. And the penalty that he takes is just a lazy penalty.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to slash him. Move your feet. You're in good body position, so you can't get to the net. You're there. There's 0. You got away with the first slash.
Yeah.
And then the second slash right on the hands. Like, why not just go stick on puck and then, I don't know, finish through his body? I don't know. Like, so yeah, it was a soft call and it ends up in the back of your net. And for a team that was, struggling to score goals previous game, struggled with their effort the previous game, you don't want a team that's fragile to all of a sudden give up a lead because one of your best players is playing lazy, which is something you just addressed. So it's a lazy call. We can argue whether we think it's a soft call or not. We could probably argue that. But the reality is it's still a call. Mm-hmm. And it was a soft one. It was a lazy penalty, in my opinion.
You can't slash a guy in the hands. I mean, depending on the ref, it's going to get called. It's supposed to get called in this NHL these days. All right, let's go to the text line again, 780-218-9999. The Oilers score more than 3 goals for just the third time this season. Oh, and they get a win. How about that novel concept? Ken texting in says, it was the McDavid-Wallman roller coaster night. McDavid's second goal was a beauty, and Wallman's three-pointer supports the fans' assertion that he could replace Bouchard on power play 1. Did Coach Knobloch actually bench Bouch tonight? Great show, boys. Okay. Thank you for the text, Ken. Absolutely thing of beauty by McDavid on the spinorama. Wallman on both of his goals, a little bit fortuitous, but get the puck on the net. Get the puck on the net. Put it towards the net. We saw Noah Philp on a 2-on-1 with Leon Draisaitl, who's still trailing behind, pass up a shooting lane. Puck on net. Simple concept. It works. And then the Bouchard being replaced by Wallman on PP1. I think he could be a serviceable replacement. And yes, to the benching. Go ahead, Belzy.
Okay, I'm going to agree with you with the word that you just used, serviceable.
Yeah, I'm not going past that.
So, yeah, I don't think we should go past that. And listen, I'm going to take heat right now from the nasty chat because they think I'm going to be a Bouch defender. But when Bouch is playing at his best, the Oilers do not have a defenseman that can do the things that he does in the offensive zone. Done. He makes great plays. He has timely goals. And listen, Wallman has been good. He can be serviceable. Like, I'm not saying that he couldn't do it in spurts. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when Bouch is playing at his best, and I understand that he's not right now playing at his best, so it could be an opportune time to, switch things up. But when he is playing at his best, I'm hard-pressed to sit there and say, hey, you can take that power play to new heights. The other piece of that puzzle is you've got 2 righties and you got 3 lefties on the power play. You have one-time options. If you put Wallman out there. Now you've got all lefties. And so when you start moving the puck to the top and you have a one-time option, well, now it keeps defenders on their toes just a little bit more, as opposed to if all of a sudden the puck comes up to Wallman and now everybody in the building knows you're going to go back to the right-hand side to take a shot. That's the only thing I'm going to say. And once again, I know I'm going to take some heat for that because people think I'm defending Bouch, but that is not what I'm saying. Wallman would be a perfectly serviceable guy if in spurts you need to switch that up.
Let's go to Hampton Steve here. Texting in says, another ugly performance by this team. It was mitigated by some McDavid magic and a lucky bounce. Otherwise, a very concerning response after getting blown out on a Saturday. My hope is that they are able to come back from this road trip within 2 points of a playoff spot. Also, I would scratch Mangiapane next game after his brutal performance and turnover late. Yeah, he had that really bad pass across the blue line that was intercepted, led to the goal. Expect more out of him. Like, I thought he's had some good moments this year, but overall, what is he at, 6 points right now? You can't make that play as a veteran. Draisaitl had one in the first period, guys, where he went backhand sauce or tried to across the blue line that had no hope in hell. That got picked off. Like, there was still, this was not a great performance by the Edmonton Oilers. It was a gutsy third period, but there were definitely some spotty minutes in this game, stretches even, I would say. So we're not going to let that fly by because they got the win. They were pretty bad in some stretches of this game without question. Let's go to this one from El Presidente. Says, if Skinner didn't make that save right before Roslovic scored, the game would have been over. That's a big save at a key time. Yep. And Tony from BP also brought that up. He said, nice to see a Skinner big save. Are we going to talk finally that they got a save before the winning goal on Skinner? Guys, let's look at Stu Skinner's game tonight, because you look at the stat line from this one, and when you go over to the Oilers side and Stu Skinner, who said he needed to make timely saves this morning, like I was mentioning, he had 19 shots. He had 15 saves, guys. 789 save percentage. GAA ain't pretty either, but he made that timely save. How do we evaluate Stu Skinner tonight?
It's a hard one.
I mean, that response from both of you right there, you guys both kind of sighed. Like, I think that sums it up. But like the text, like Tony and the key save, right? Like,
those were two big saves on Coyle in this game. In the first period, too. Bad step up by Emberson, I want to say. Left Kulak stranded and left Coyle on a breakaway, made a save, which then led to Wallman tying it up later. And then, another save in the overtime. I mean, it's like there's like the Grant Fuhrer mentality, where it's like, oh, you should make the big save at the right time, allow your team to win. And that's what Stu was saying in his comments earlier today. He was like, he cares about the win column in his record, right? And so I guess he gets one today. How much of today's goals that went on him were his fault versus just god awful turnovers and execution of getting out of your zone? You
even look at the goal that Jenner scores.
Yeah,
he's standing right in front of the net. Guys aren't even taking a stick. So
that was Kulak on that one, I believe.
And usually Kulak's very stout defensively. So that was a little bit of a surprising play. But if you look at the goals, like, which goal are you saying, I want that one back?
So first one,
Provorov was a slapper
from the point, and there's a really good screen by Jenner.
Two screens,
This reminded me of a point.
Then you have Fantilli's goal.
Yeah,
he had no chance on that one. I mean, that was
zero
atrocious giveaway too. We mentioned.
And then you've got the backdoor tap in.
Monahan's goal too. Monahan's
goal. So did he play awful? Like, I get the numbers and what they look like, and it's easy to say, okay, well, like, his numbers aren't great, we need a new goaltender. Fully respect that comment and your perspective. But when you look at the goals that were scored, those are tough goals.
Yeah.
And you could argue, okay, the first goal that maybe you got to battle through a screen a little bit better to try to get that puck because it is a shot from the point. But maybe one goal that you want back.
Listen,
I think he did his job today.
Wallman was pretty soft on that.
Oh, he did not.
Sean Monahan goal.
Oh, yeah, he did not pick up his guy. That was completely left him out to dry. For me, I was gonna have this huge rant on the postgame show if they were gonna lose. I guess I can comment on it even though they won. To me, the biggest problem with the Oilers scoring, I know they scored 5 tonight, but you look at the Monahan goal, the Jenner goal, and I think there's another one that they scored today that is very similar. It was all in front of the net, beating the Oilers defenseman, getting behind them, and getting on the rebound. Mm-hmm. All of the Oilers' goals today did not factor in a net front battle where they beat a guy out front and they tap one in. Zach Hyman is the king of doing that type of stuff. And so he'll be a welcomed addition back whenever he is back. And I'm not saying he's going to be the sole fix for this problem, but I think that's something the Oilers need to target more. We've talked about it a bunch already, but I just feel like there's a lack of just players in front of the net, and then when they're in front of the net, win your battle in front of the net, get a rebound, get a deflection, something like that. They haven't had Hyman all year. They lost Kane. They lost Perry. Those are 3 guys that are very, very good net front, and I think it's showing so far. Like I think that's a huge reason why this team has struggled to score goals this year. Obviously, they scored 5 tonight, but that's something I would be looking for them to improve going forward.
Hey, what do you guys think of what Trev Frederick did fighting Mathieu Olivier?
I mean, I liked it. He's a guy that's he's gonna give you a fight. I don't criticize anybody that goes and fights because hey, you gotta have the cojones to go in there and stand in, especially against a guy like Olivier, who is one of the tougher guys in the league. So like, I respected what he did. It shows that he cares. Because it's hard, when you're getting punched in the face. That's not that fun. So, I like what he did, and he wanted to answer the bell. He knows that he wasn't playing well. He knows that he wasn't imposing his will physically, and he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to try to get into a fight and do what I need to do here."
Yeah, Olivier Obliged also provided a fresh shiner on Frederick's right eye. I commend him for going out there and just doing it.
Yeah,
I really do. I just got a text from Reid Wilkins, who will be joining us later for Reid's Read. He says he's still waiting for Knobloch in the Oilers Hall of Fame room. He adds that Jake Wallman said they deserved to be booed off the ice in the second period. Absolutely. And good on him for recognizing that. Seriously. Let's go to Big Dave, who texts in and says, I've been saying it all season. Skinner's performance is only going to be as good as the performance of the team in front of him. If the blue line plugs the holes, Skinner is better. He may have let in 4, but he made several really nice saves, and the OT winner comes right after he made a big save. Big Dave, well said, sir. Appreciate the text. Let's go to Dave the Welder. Says, my eldest daughter told me in between second and third period that it would be great if the Oilers won in OT. And what do you know? She was right. Yeah, they had to cue the comeback on that one. Let's go to Stanley in YYC. Says, about time to watch the other team snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Edmonton's first win on Amazon Prime. Still issues to fix. Don't like seeing 88 out on his next shift after the turnover. So we see Bouchard get benched, but we don't see Mangiapane suffer the consequences of bad play. Is this... Mangiapane has the leeway from the coaching staff because Bouchard has been more egregiously bad and prone to mistakes. And that's why in this game, between these two separate instances, it's Bouchard that gets the bench here, Belsey?
Yeah, it is. And it's a stronger message to a star player. He's a guy that can affect the game. And no disrespect to Mangiapane, but like his ceiling is just not as high as Bouchard's.
Right.
So you have to sit that guy down because it sends a message to the whole team.
Yeah.
You want to add anything, Benny?
Yeah, you hold Bouchard to a higher standard. Now, obviously, Mangiapane's turnover and then lack of a defensive play on the Marchenko toe drag, like that was just flat out just like you got to make a better play on that defensively. You don't excuse that, but Bouchard has had many, 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 many games of mistakes and stuff leading up into tonight's, all for Knoblauch to go, okay, all right, fine, okay, you're done. That's it. You're taking a seat for a little bit. Mangiapane has had at least some good stretches throughout this regular season. We've talked about how I felt like he slid in pretty well. He's gotten a little bit quiet the past couple games, but I think so has the team. So there's been better stretches from Mangiapane than Bouchard this year. So his leash is a little bit longer. I think Knoblauch lets him play through that type of mistake and try to make up for it in his next shift.
Can we talk about that goal that was scored? And like
the Fantilli one?
Yeah.
That was disgusting.
I was laughing on my couch for two reasons. One, because of toe drag, and then obviously the dish to Fantilli, and it was an absolute missile that came off his stick. But the other reason I was laughing was like the effort from Nurse and Mangiapane.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to watch that right now, actually.
Come on. Like, help me, help you, help me, help you. Just like, I don't know, do something. But like,
I'm watching it just for those that are wondering. So Nurse, casual pass. He kind of coasts back with it because Wallman tips it back to him. He's at center ice, looks up. Casual pass to Mangiapane, takes it back into the Oilers zone, gets picked off by Fantilli, toe drag by Marchenko, back to Fantilli. Shelf. Beautiful. Very laissez-faire by Mangiapane and Darnell Nurse. And Darnell Nurse, by the way, Belzy, started skating up the ice after he passed it over to Mangiapane. And then he had to do a quick, tight turn
that's literally why I was face
back.
palmed. That's why I face palmed.
Yeah, understandable.
I couldn't believe what I saw. And so I had to laugh because the goal was actually really nice.
You're a sick puppy, Belzy.
The play at the end was like, oh my God. Like, oh.
Let's go to this one. I'm laughing at this one too. It says, something you guys are missing here. Do the Oilers win this game if Tommy's boy Janmark doesn't play? Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Now, listen, Matthias Janmark, minimal effect on this game.
I don't know about that.
Hang on. Let me. I'm the one that's the Janmark apologist.
Here we go.
So Janmark tonight, 9:59 time on ice. Obviously, no points. One shot, one block shot, or no block shots. Basically zeros across the board outside of the one shot on goal. Now, what I will give him credit for is he started a scrum in front of the Columbus net. And we did see scrums in front of the Columbus net. Curtis Lazar started one. He deserves credit. Like, there was actually some engagement from the Oilers to impose some of their physical will. Now, there wasn't a ton of it, but it was a little bit refreshing, you guys, to see them actually try to engage the Columbus Blue Jackets with some skirmishes. I will give them that. And Janmark did do that on one instance. So as much as I appreciate that text saying my boy goes back into the lineup and they get a win, he really didn't have much of an effect, but he did start one of those scrums. So I like that they were willing to engage, but it didn't last. And that's an issue to me, Belzy.
Hey, the janitor comes in and he just does what janitors do.
Mops up the crap.
Work.
That's right.
He went in. He showed that he was willing to mix it up physically. He only got 9 minutes, but hey, he got a shot, couple scrums. Well, one scrum.
One scrum.
Got to do what you got to do when you're out in the ice. But all joking aside, he's a good depth player for the Edmonton Oilers. He's a guy that is not going to give you terrible minutes, and I think that's what you need if you're the Edmonton Oilers. Like, your depth pieces, when they go out, they can't get cratered. Mm-hmm. And so for Janmark, as much as we have in jest and we like to say, well, he doesn't score and all that kind of stuff, he doesn't hurt you either. He's an effective fourth line player.
That's exactly why, like, I think it's I understand, like, it's a fourth liner we're talking about, or what, our bottom six guy, but it's valuable to have a veteran that knows how to play 9 to 10 minutes a game and make it impactful and not cost you. Like, it's a valuable when you're playing. You know, Ike Howard, 857. He's a young kid, a lot of skill, but still is, figuring it out defensively. And, like, he's not used to playing those type of minutes. So sometimes he can cost you, and there was times I thought that line, I think Frederick Howard, Henrique, I think it was 2, maybe 3 times where they were out there for a minute and a half straight and just pinning their own zone. They got caved in a little bit tonight. It was off of some mistakes Howard made, but I think that's why guys like Janmark are valuable. It's because they know they're 8 to 10 minutes. They got to make it impactful. They can't cost the team, and they just know how to play with that little amount of ice time. So yeah, it's a good point. It's good to see these back. We'll see how he does in the road trip. Want to know in the Janmark era.
I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. At least I didn't have to say. I'm just kidding. Okay, Nurse taking a lot of heat tonight. There's one text here I was just reading, said, Nurse awful on 2 goals against tonight. Can we please get the Bouchard accountability for Nurse? 2. What has happened to Darnell Nurse's willingness to engage physically? Shawn?
I honestly couldn't even answer that question. He knows that's the best. When he plays at his best, he has an edge. The Oilers need a guy like him to provide an edge. But I honestly couldn't tell you what that is. It's one of the great enigmas of the Edmonton Oilers, because he is one of the tougher players on the team. He does have the ability to do that. He does have the ability to skate his way out of problems. He does have his ability to be an absolute blank on the ice. And they need that, and they need guys that are willing to do that. And I don't know. And you want to see more. You want to see more out of Darnell Nurse, because here's the reality: is if you play a little bit harder of a style, where it's a little bit Chris Pronger-esque, where you lay a piece of lumber across a guy's liver, well, guess what? Guys in their head say, I don't know if I want to go down that side. I'm going to go to the other side because I'd rather be an easier night. Well, now your defensive prowess goes up a little bit because nobody's challenging you.
I want to read this one. I kind of don't understand this person's frustration. I'll read it, and I'll let you guys decide. 780-218-9999. The Oilers win 5-4 in overtime, climb out of a multi-goal deficit, and get the win. This text says, what exactly do you think Skinner's job is? The word is save, as in save the day. You guys are delusional.
I'm Delulu.
You're Delulu? I don't understand.
Skinner say puck. Skinner say puck. That all he do. Skinner say puck. Skinner say puck. It go other way. It go in net. Oilers win.
You sound like you're frustrated, Bellsy. I don't understand.
I'm not frustrated. I just had a little bubbly. I'm great.
Oh, you had a little bubbly? That's bublé.
Bublé.
I don't Texter. I don't know why your direction. I don't understand the motivation for your anger towards us. We've been accused many times, myself, I'll put myself front row center, of being Skinner apologists. and us pointing out that he said today he needs to make the big save, the timely save, and he's more focused on that than having good averages. He wants the win column to be better rather than worrying about his save percentage and goals against. I don't it's okay to get mad at us. We're not going to make everybody happy, but I'm thrown off by that. Some people can't please them all, Bells. That's how I always have to remind myself.
We haven't had bad takes today. We haven't lambasted anybody. We've given honest opinion. And like I've said before, if he has a bad game and he deserves it, then he deserves it.
Right.
But if he makes a big save, which we all want, then at least just give him his flowers. Just one time. So guess what? I kind of did it in jest. Well, he did make a save. It went back the other way, and the Oilers won. Isn't that what we all say? We need that one timely save? Hi, I'm Shawn Belle, former Oiler. Does your goaltender give you a heartache? Do you want that one big save? Well, today, what day is it today?
Monday, November 10th.
November 10th, Mr. Skinner gave you that one big save. Embrace it, enjoy it, and guess what? The Oilers won. have a drink.
The more you know. A Shawn Belle PSA. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm looking at the nasty chat now and I'm laughing. Zedmo saying Belzy's channeling his inner Cass. Well done. Belzy just watched Encino Man, says Riot's Edge. Mars Boy says, sounds like a Yakupov imitation. And then Simple says, Belzy was talking as if he was on a Calgary Flames show. Oh boy.
No.
I
love it. You gotta have fun. You gotta have fun on the show. If you're gonna come in hot, you might get something hot back.
Anyway, Supersized Indiana Jones says Boom Boom's PSAs are the best. I think Cheese Donaire says Belzy knows his crap. Belzy should be a coach.
Really?
Anyway,
Weird,
right? Vandal AVP says agreed, Belzy. Okay, Benny, we do have some reaction from the Oilers locker room. Belzy, you get to stick around for a few more minutes?
Yep.
All right. Who's better, do you think? Well, you know what? Let's hear from Jake Wallman. 2 points for 2 goals tonight. Set up the game winner, sent Roslovic after the big save by Skinner on Charlie Coyle. Made the big save. Saved the day, quote unquote, for that texter that got mad at us. Not that I can't please them all. I always have to be like, what am I taking crazy pills here? You know, like I get it, but I don't sometimes. Let's hear from Jake Wallman.
Drew it up on that shorty to tie.
Yeah, wasn't pretty. Sally wasn't pretty either, but he calls a goal, right?
You feel your teammates, sometimes you just need a break to go your way or a bounce to go your way?
Yeah, I think, that's probably the exact type of game that it was going to take to get out of this little funk, or at least to start. Wasn't perfect at all, but we found a way and stuck with it. There was a lot to like in that game, and I think I got to give a huge shout out to Freddie. That's a tough opponent and big boy, and there's very few guys that would do that sort of thing and step up for this team, and proud of him for that.
So you guys, you kind of have this thing where you're getting in your own way a little bit earlier on the season here, and maybe just a thought on if you guys can cut that out. You've got it in here. Yeah,
that's probably a big part. I think shooting ourselves in the foot a little too much, or a lot too much. This first stretch of games, and you see it when the end of the year and important games, those mistakes, you got to tighten those up to play in the meaningful games, and we got to work our way. We got to remember what that looks like and kind of work on that.
Okay, so Saturday happens, and then you are where you are after 2 periods. You give some booze. Is that kind of the ultimate gut check time, do you think, for this team?
They deserve to boo. I said it out there. It's not a cheap ticket, and these fans love this team. We love the fans. We're trying to do as much as we can, but when we're not performing out there, I wouldn't be happy if I was sitting in the stands too. So we're trying our hardest. We know it's a hard-working city, and that's kind of what we need to do. We kind of need to get back to that to get out of this funk.
How did you regroup after that?
Yeah, a couple words in here. Not much. We know the crazy thing is we know exactly what it looks like, but we just got to a man, we got to do it. And for a lot of the game tonight, we did. It wasn't pretty, like I said, but we stuck with it.
All right, so there's Jake Wallman. Good night for him on the score sheet. 2 goals and assists, +2. Yes, he did have some fortuitous bounces, but you'll take them, especially when the team is looking to dig itself out of a bit of a hole. 22-13 time on ice, 4 shots, 1 block, had 2 hits. So a good night from Wallman. Not a perfect night. He had some moments where, we were talking about the one play, super soft on the goal. And then he talked about, having some words in the room. Guys, I was told tonight that after the loss to Colorado, McDavid absolutely shredded everybody in the locker room after the game. So good. Yeah. Have to do that.
Yep, you do.
All right. We have Connor McDavid, who is ready to go. Let's go to him, and then we'll get some final thoughts from Belzy, and then we'll get to some more text. So here is the captain after a big night and a big win for the Oil.
Through the significant ups and downs of that third period. It was like great start, and then it goes sideways on you. How were you guys able to kind of stick with it, you think?
Well, I mean, you said it right there. We stuck with it. Put ourselves in a tough spot. Maybe we're good at coming from behind. And we found a way, and not the prettiest way to win a game, but a win nonetheless, and we move on.
Connor, how do you contrast what seemed like, you guys have talked about details, seemed like a more detailed first period, and then a second period where it seemed like, at least to my eyes, some of those details might have slipped away, like it just seemed to go from one extreme to the other?
I wouldn't call it the extreme. I'd say the extreme was Saturday, but yes, it wasn't as good as the first period. I don't know what to tell you. Like it wasn't our best period, and we found a way to win a game no matter what. So, or anyway. So
you guys come out. Sorry to interrupt. You guys come out really banging in the first period, which isn't really your team style. But is that just something a hockey team does in response to?
Huge credit to Freddie. Huge credit to Freddie. Taking on that guy, trying to give us a little spark. Can't say enough good things about him. That was huge. Not a lot of guys take on that guy, so as I said, huge credit to Freddie. Yeah, we talked about guys maybe getting out of their comfort zone a little bit, and guys responded. I thought there was good energy. Guys came out crashing and banging, and a little bit more emotion, which was all good stuff.
So, just 2 points, or was there a little bit more significance to this game and the way you guys won it than just another 2 points?
Yeah, it was a big win. This was a big win at home before going on a long stretch here after obviously what happened on Saturday. So it felt like a little bit more of a bigger game than you usually get in November, and I thought it showed. We hung on and hung on right to the end to tie it and won a game.
So, obviously what happened Saturday, and then there were a lot of boos at the end of the second period. Did that feel like gut check time for the team at that point?
The group likes to put itself in a tough spot, and then just when you think it's a tough spot, we go a little bit further, and then then we decide it's time to go. So that's probably what that second period was. We hear it, we understand what happened on Saturday was not to keep going back to it, but was not what we want to display to our fans, and we understand, and we're all trying to win games, and we did that tonight.
So Evan,
are you gonna ask a question?
Go ahead, Jason. I'll just
No, go ahead.
Evan in the first period ends up missing some time after taking a penalty. By the end of the game, he's out there killing a penalty, looking for a goal, made a nice play to you, like just a resilient night from him.
Yeah, I mean that's Bouch. I mean he's as resilient as they come. That's a great play. Picks it out of the air, and just like that, we're on the attack. So it was a great play from a great player.
You guys had a few, I don't know if you call it unforced errors. Like I get turnovers happen when you're pressured, but you had a few tonight where there's not pressure. How do you get that out of your team's game? Because it seems to be still creeping in at most inopportune time.
Yeah, that's what hurts us, obviously. I feel like we're a good defensive team, and then one mistake here and there, and it kind of snowballs, and it's really hurting us. Almost hurt us in the third there. So. Got to limit those. We got to get those out of our game.
Stu talked before the game. He felt he needed to make a big save, a breakaway save, which he did early, and then the one in overtime that led directly to the goal. Kind of a big save for him, maybe to get him going the right way.
Huge save. No question about it. He did his job. Gave us a chance to win.
Okay, so there was Connor McDavid. Obviously, a couple big goals for him. Tried to will the team back into the game, did a good job, had some help with Jake Wallman and a couple others. Jack Roslovic, I thought, was good tonight. So giving some flowers to Trent Frederick for the fight, and then gave credit to Stu Skinner for the big save on Charlie Coyle. And then ultimately, it wasn't pretty, but they do get the win. So there's the captain speaking on that. Anything stick out to you guys from some of the stuff he said tonight?
Well, he did admit that they'd like to get their backs up against the wall. And that was obviously, I know that they don't like that, but they do acknowledge that they get going once, their back's up against the wall, and that's when they really start to push.
Yeah.
That's just, it's something that we've seen over the course of the entire McDavid era. And you want it to be fixed, but they honestly feel that they have a team that can work its way out of any problem, any scenario. And based off what you saw today, keyword today, that suggests, it's true. And I think that in the loss on Saturday really hit home. It did humble them. It did embarrass them. I think it made them acknowledge that they're the hunted, and you have a ton of teams that are consistently trying to use you as a measuring stick. And for the Edmonton Oilers, they don't have off nights because every single team wants to come in and beat you because you've been to the dance the last 2 years. So that's what stuck out to me. So hopefully they can carry this, this win on and get a little bit more confidence, a little bit more mojo, and take that into what is a 7-game road trip?
Yep, starting Wednesday against Philadelphia. Benny, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much all there is to say. Like Belle's was saying, the target's on the Oilers' back. Like they've been the best team in the West past 2 years. They've won that Western Conference, so teams are geared up to play the Oilers, and sometimes that leads to the Oilers, falling asleep and they can sit back and relax because they think they're going to win an easy win. And like Connor was saying, just need a little bit more urgency there. I like this comment at the end there. He put it simple in what we've been talking about. Skinner gave them a chance to win tonight. With some of the big saves he made tonight. Obviously the numbers don't look great, but that's captain talking well about his goalie. So just another solid, just trying to gear this team towards better hockey. Saw a decent step today, but some flaws as well. So I don't know. We'll see how.
Oh yeah, and self-induced flaws. So acknowledging that's good. Okay, I'm gonna rattle off these texts here, guys, in succession. H.E. Pennypacker just wrote, I thought Emberson had the toughest night out of all the Oilers.
Yes.
That's fair. Okay, here we go. And then it shifts to some Darnell Nurse discussion. This one says, I would just love Nurse to not end up behind the net somehow on a rush attempt. Screw the physicality, play with some positional awareness. And then this one says, I'm not an analytics guy at all, but when the eye test and the analytics are showing the same thing, there's a huge problem with that player. Darnell Nurse is playing the worst hockey of his career, and it's hurting this team in a big way. And then I'm going to wrap it up on the Nurse point with this. It's from Shanked One. It says, it is up to you guys, the media, to get Nurse pissed off. Remember when Nurse wasn't talking to any media and then he went out and had 16 hits? That was the best game in quite some time. That one from Shanked One. I don't know what to tell you, Shanked One. Like us to go and make him mad so he plays better? I don't know, man. That's a bit of a stretch to me. It's up to the player to be motivated to not embarrass himself night after night and play crappy hockey, I would think. Shawn, your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are that he does need to have the physical play because that helps him be engaged. That also helps with his defensive awareness. Because if you're engaged and you have to play through somebody's equipment, you're not cheating for offense. You're not sitting back. That means you have to play on your toes. That means you're taking away time and space. That means you're being an efficient defender. So I would disagree with that take because I do want to see him be physical because it forces you to do all the things that I just mentioned. So that is something that Darnell Nurse needs to do. And the other piece of that puzzle, sorry to cut you off there, Tommy,
that's fine,
was Darnell Nurse's feet are very good. So if you have a defender that has good feet, well, you want him to go after guys. You want him playing on his toes. You want him to be a little bit more aggressive. I'm not saying on the offensive side. I'm saying on the defensive side. I would like to see him try to close gaps quicker. I'd like to see, okay, there's a loose puck. It's a 50-50 battle. Try to be first to the puck. Don't just give it up. But if you're ready to and willing to be physical, well, that means you have to be there. And now all of a sudden that board battle's there. And then when you consistently do that time and time again, all of a sudden people are like, well, actually he's playing pretty good defensively. But the only thing is he's just decided to play a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more physical.
Okay. If we take, I'm going to say this a bit tongue in cheek here. Mm-hmm. If we're taking Shanked One's thought, then our Shanked One, should we, or do you want to give credit to Speck for absolutely decimating Stu Skinner in his article today, and Stu Skinner making that one big save? Again, take it with a grain of salt, a bit tongue in cheek, but I'm just saying, really, so it's on the media, who everybody generally hates, to motivate the players to play better by shaming them to their face?
Yeah. And
bit odd.
I don't want to be that media guy either. I played. I know what it's like on the other side, and I've had shots taken at me, and I still hold a grudge to it to this day. And I wasn't even playing for the team at the time. So I don't want to ever be that media guy. I might give you impartial takes, 100%. Am I going to be unbiased? 100%. But I'm not going to go after guys and their livelihood and their living and who they are. Like, if you can't be motivated to play in the NHL, that's on you. That's not for me to now pick up the phone or type something up on my computer or get on here and start going after people. That's not how, at least for me, that's not how I want to be part of the media.
I mean, it's kind of a respect factor.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be affecting how the team plays. It's okay to call them out. It's good to call them out. Call it like it is. But like, if you're a media guy and you're trying to affect the team, you're stepping over your boundaries, I think, a little bit.
Like this has got to be an Edmonton only media thing to be talking about, right?
I think there's other markets that have it too.
Yeah, maybe Toronto too. The players know, man, and the coaching staff knows. The media, it's like
if a guy's playing like shit, he knows he's playing like shit.
Exactly.
For us to tell you, hey, Darnell, you're playing like shit this year. I just want you to know that. That's not going to change his mind.
He'll literally just go, yeah, I know. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, asshole. That's what he's going to say. Pardon my French, guys, but I'm baffled by some of the rationale sometimes.
How to get punched in the face 101.
Yeah.
God. Oh, God.
Anyway. All right, Bellsy. 7-game road trip starts in Philly on Wednesday. They're back to face the Columbus Blue Jackets on Thursday in Columbus. And then, I mean, it's not very easy for them the rest of the way. I'll rattle it off really quickly as you get ready to answer this as they look ahead here. Carolina Saturday, Buffalo on Monday, Washington next Wednesday, Tampa on Thursday, and then they wrap it up against the defending Stanley Cup champions Saturday, the 22nd. How do you look at this next stretch here?
Well, I think you got to walk in to Philadelphia and you've got to be ready to go. Because if you walk and you sleepwalk into that particular game, Philadelphia is a pesky out. I'm not saying they're the greatest team in the world. I'm not saying they're the best team in the world. I'm just saying that they're a pesky out and they don't give up anything for free. They've taken on the identity of their coach. There will be comments in the nasty chat based off what I just said. But you got to make sure that you're going into that game and you're rolling and you're flying and you're finding that mojo, because if you don't get some of these wins and you sleepwalk through it, well, like this could be a long road trip and you come back to Edmonton, well, look out in terms of where you're at. So I think you got to go into Philly. You got to be ready to capitalize on a team. You can't play down to your competition. You need to rise above the occasion. And that is about as simple as like, hey, we just want to take over this game. We want to dominate this game because that'll get you going in the right frame of mind when it comes to your next 6 games after the Philly game.
I'm just going to end this with you, Bellsy, here. Our good friend Guy Flaming, a.k.a. Stu Pedasso, in the inbox. Guy says, Bellsy, what did Tom say about you back in the day? He was just trying to motivate you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Tom, and everything that you've done for me.
Yeah, look at us now, buddy. Look at us now. Thank you, Guy, for bringing that up. Okay, Bellsy, good stuff. We'll catch up with you soon, all right?
See you, boys. Nasties.
There's Shawn Belle helping us at a breakdown. Have some fun as the Oilers win 5-4 in overtime against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Please keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Do get into the nasty chat. Hit that thumbs up. We're having some fun with it, but like seriously, I'm trying to like comprehend this sometimes, and I'm just what? Anyway, let's get to some business here. It is the turning point of the game, presented by Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today at www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. I'm going to give honorable mention to the equalizer tonight from Jake Wallman. Lucky bounce, goes over Jack Greaves and over his shoulder. He's not the biggest goalie, but that got the Oilers the 1 point, got them into overtime. It was a shorthanded marker. That's the Oilers' second shorty of the season, so honorable mention there. But the sequence in OT, the big save from Stu Skinner on Charlie Coyle, good heads-up play by Jake Wallman, setting in Roslovic. Little forehand, little backhand shiver, tucks it past Greaves. Roslovic, his fourth of the year. I thought he had a really good night, 56 seconds in, and does it against his hometown team. That is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. All right. Reid Wilkins is standing by. We're going to get to Reid's Read. Brought to you by Ewell, your power play specialist. Ewell has the gear you need for next level electrical project with 3 Edmonton area locations, and you can order online anytime at ewell.ca. Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. Riedrich, you and I were observing this game together tonight, discussing it ad nauseum, good, bad, ugly, everything in between. How positive is the result? Does it change much when it comes to our opinion about this team? How does it catapult them, if at all, into this 7-game road trip? What do you want to say about this win tonight?
Well, I think ad nauseum is a good term because I felt increasingly nauseous as the game went on. It was mostly a putrid hockey game. Really, neither team was great, I thought. The lack of shots on goal indicated that the Oilers were badly outplayed in the second period. Quite frankly, it wasn't even overly entertaining until the third period. Had 2 spectacular plays by McDavid, and then a crazy, last 2 minutes of a college football game banned on the field type of finish with the Wallman shorthanded goal, and then Skinner making a good save on Coyle and Roslovic scoring on a breakaway. So yeah, will this catapult the team to bigger and better things? I have no idea, Tom. I still think they're incredibly flawed, and make a massive amount of mistakes. But hey, like I say, it's about figuring it out. So today, they're the best offensive player in the NHL figured it out with 2 home run plays, and then Columbus goofs up by not just hold the puck.
Yeah,
they just hold the puck. Stand in the corner for 2 minutes if you have to. Don't give the Oilers a chance to change so those guys can get on the ice. But hey, that's sometimes how you win. You got to take advantage of mistakes by the other team as well. I thought that the second period was really poor. I thought the Oilers were okay in the first period. Like, at least they engaged.
Yeah,
they didn't have a ton of chances. McDavid was kind of the leader offensively as usual. Good for Frederick for fighting, even though he got destroyed. But he went out and found one.
Yep.
And even Lazar, that play where it was kind of a nothing play in front of the net, and he just shoved the defenseman towards the Columbus goalie, and that set off a scrum. So at least a couple guys were trying to mix it up. But Chris Knobloch said after the game that they had trouble breaking out the puck in the second period. And then I followed up and said, I think this has been a problem throughout the season. What is causing that? He didn't seem to think it's been a problem throughout the season. I think it has been.
Yeah.
That's fine. He's the coach. But he said it's hard to put your figure on it because he says they do lead the league in effective zone entries and things like that. Tom, when I've said that one of my concerns is that this team perhaps doesn't have enough skill, I think I have to expand that just beyond the offensive zone. It takes skill to make a little pass inside your own blue line, to beat a guy one-on-one, to get the puck across the red line, so you can pass it in or dump it in. And I think that's a problem for the Oilers, is that they don't have the forwards who are making those plays, and the defense is part of this, I guess. But can you make that little pass inside your own blue line? Like, what about that pass? And Colson, I think for the most part, has been doing his job. But what about that pass where they're breaking out in the second period and he did a slap pass and missed the guy because he passed it too hard?
Yeah.
Ike Howard, who may be in the AHL by the end of the week, tries to beat a guy one-on-one inside the blue line. He lost the puck. This was in the third period. So it looks like a silly play, but also skilled players make it, right? Yeah. So there's two things here. Sometimes it's bad decision-making, and then sometimes it's like, well, it's a tough play, but if you're in the NHL, you have to make it more often than not. So, the second period was terrible. The fans booed them off the ice. Jake Wallman said they deserve to be booed. He said, we know tickets are expensive and we weren't giving people their money's worth. So look, there were some signs of life, not enough to really convert my way of thinking. But look, this is sometimes in pro sports, the best players can just do a lot to. It's like sometimes Mahomes or Brady would just win a game for their team, because they're such good quarterbacks. That's largely what McDavid did tonight, or at least gave them a chance to get a break and win it at the end because he made two spectacular plays.
Text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. Reid Wilkins joining us now for Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell. The Oilers win 5-4 in OT, a flawed game from the Oil. Okay, like Darnell Nurse, there's been a lot of heat on him. There's been debate over Skinner, people giving him credit for that big save. He said it today, Reid, that he needed to make the timely save, make the big save. Not so much worried about his averages as opposed to the win-loss column, and that's the most important thing to him. How do you look at it from a Skinner perspective, and then give us your thoughts on Darnell Nurse as well and his performance thus far?
Well, I think I'm going to somewhat repeat what I said on my show this afternoon. In terms of Skinner and Pickard too, the first 8 games were pretty good. Mm-hmm. Now the last 9 have not been nearly as good, both save percentage and one-loss record. In terms of this individual game, Skinner did his job because he was the winning goaltender. He stopped that breakaway. I don't even remember when that was. And the one tough shot in overtime, he made the save.
Coyle breakaway, end of first.
Late in the first. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Minute 16 left.
Yeah.
So those were important. Bigger picture for Skinner. There was a screenshot that went in. And again, on an individual screenshot, it's like, okay, the goalie was screened. We look back over the last year and a bit, there's a lot of screenshots where he hasn't found the puck or it hasn't hit him, right? So that was a little bit like, okay, there's another screenshot that went in. Mm-hmm. The Monahan goal, somebody tie up the man in front.
Wallman was very soft on that
and
one.
I think there was a forward coming back, you could kind of even, it might have been Mangiapane where he was like, oh, that I could have got to him. so that was disappointing. The Fantilli 4-on-4 goal, again, they turn it over. They muck around with the puck and don't get it out, and they move Skinner across and they score. The Jenner goal, that was the extended cycle where the Oilers couldn't get the puck out.
Correct.
So it can be both things. It can be that the Oilers are sloppy defending and that they don't get enough saves. That's why I try to group everything together. Yes, the Oilers could use better goaltending, especially the last 9 games from both guys. Darnell Nurse. Hasn't had a great season. I haven't looked at his analytics like somebody wrote in. This is, again, part of a defense core that has not played to expectations. I know every day I get a message like, why did the Athletic rank them as a good defense core? Well, first of all, I don't work for the Athletic and I didn't write that article. So you'd have to ask somebody who was involved in that. But if you were to ask me to speculate, I think they were ranked that high because on paper going into the season, they had 5 guys who could competently move the puck based on their past experience. Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse, Wallman, and Kulak. Some more by passing, some more by skating. They've pretty much all of them, except for maybe Kulak, have been underwhelming if you compare them to the peaks of their performance. Now, maybe Ekholm's peak isn't as high as it used to be. Bouchard, for whatever reason, tends to iron it out as the season gets on. So, yeah, I mean, with Nurse, we have seen him go through this before. To me, he's not going to be a big point producer, though he has had decent point totals a couple of times. You just need him to defend. Block shots, hit, stay in position. I mean, he tends, the knock on him for a lot of his career is that he tries to do too much. And if he just simplifies this and uses his size and his reach and gets in the way and intercepts passes and negates guys, he can be a pretty effective player.
Reid, we get this text comes in, says, Reid is so well-spoken and polite when completely destroying this team. Ha ha. Yes, he is. He dips into that broad vernacular and is eloquent with his words. All right, so let's take a look at 7-game road trip. It's not going to be easy. Starts on Wednesday night in Philly. Obviously, Rick Tocchet has taken over that team, trying to turn things around there. These Blue Jackets are obviously going to also remember this game tonight, how they kind of blew one and probably want some redemption. Maybe they're less sick, literally less ill from the bug that's going around in the room. And then they're in Carolina on Saturday. They get Buffalo. You know, Buffalo's been hot and cold this year. And they get back-to-backs next Wednesday, Thursday again. And then they wrap it up in Florida. They get Tampa and Washington before that Florida game. Like, one game at a time, Reid Rick? Big picture, Reid Rick? Do they look at it in segments? Like, what do you think about this upcoming trip?
Well, here's something odd. The Oilers, based on the standings as of this exact moment, the Oilers on this road trip are playing the 4 worst teams in the Eastern Conference. Washington, Florida, and Columbus have 15 points. Buffalo is last at 14 points.
Right.
Now, we know that, but there's still 3 of those teams are still 500. We know about the stuff with Florida, and that game is right at the end of the trip. So even though Florida is depleted compared to the team that beat the Oilers in the Cup final, that'll still be a tough game.
The East is tight, like really tight.
Exactly. Yeah, and by the time they play Florida, Florida could be, second in their division. Buffalo's not a great team. The Oilers, I think, are kind of up and down in that building. I've just gone by memory. I think they've had some tough times in Washington. Though, didn't they turn their season around there with that 5-0 win a couple years ago? After they had that third period, I think they had a American Thanksgiving matinee in Washington and won 4 or 5-0.
Yeah.
Columbus has been an ugly rink for this team. McDavid I know they have some wins, but McDavid got hurt there last year. They had that game 2 or 3 years ago where they were down 4-0 and tied it and then lost 6-4. Yeah, that stupid cannon goes off all the time. Tom, loud, you mentioned Tocchet with Philadelphia. They have a decent record. Carolina is 11-4. They actually have the best points percentage in the East, tied with Montreal. And then Tampa Bay hasn't always been though the Oilers. I think Jack Campbell had a really good game. I know he's not on the team, but they have had some wins and buildings. This is a tough road trip. I mean, I've been saying for a while, I think this is a 2-win road trip. I did not see enough tonight to change my mind. I really didn't, Tom, because the Oilers are lacking, I think, some skill and tenacity in the lineup. And then I think even the players who can play better, I'm not sure how high their ceiling is. Can Frederick play a lot better? Can Mangiapane play a lot better? I think they can play better. I don't know if they can play a lot better. Now, Roslovic's been a nice addition because for about the last half dozen games, he has created something and or scored in every game. And he had a couple decent shots tonight, and then he got the overtime winner. Hopefully Hyman's back. Hyman will help. But again, I don't want to put it on one guy who hasn't played for coming up on 7 months. It's at least 6. Yes. But his forechecking and just maybe he can even further balance out the lines I do think that'll help, but I think this is going to be a really, really challenging trip. I mean, I'm saying 2 wins. If they got if they went 2-3-2 and came back 500, then okay, you can say, all right, now we got home games and less travel coming up ahead of us. But I think it's going to be a really difficult trip, and I think teams are always looking to jump on other teams. I mean, it's a vicious, fierce league in terms of the competition level. But hopefully, if it starts off with a win in Philadelphia, maybe that changes the whole tone of it, right? Because then maybe you start thinking about going 500 or 4-3 even. But it's very, very, very difficult trip. We knew that when the schedule came out, and how they've been playing to me makes it even look more difficult.
The Oilers struggle to string wins together. They've only put together 2 wins in a row twice this season. We'll see if they can do that again on Wednesday. Okay, Reid, I'm gonna ask you one last one here. We've been going for a while. There's been some great texts that have come in, some interesting ones, some that have left me puzzled, and I've admitted that. But there's been some discussion about Connor Ingram recently in the nasty chat. Gordon says hopefully at some point they give Ingram a look to see what they've got before his troubles. He was a heck of a goalie. And then another text said from McDiesel, Ingram is an interesting aspect to the goalie situation for sure. Curious to see if he can string some wins if he gets a chance. Just a quick update on Connor Ingram. He's played 4 games in Bakersfield, 1-2-1 record, 405 goals against average, 848 save percentage. That would indicate to me he's not there yet. So I know that there's a lot of intrigue around him, but I look at that. I hear what's said in the press box from Oilers management, and I get the sense that it's going to take some more time. Reid, what's your view on the curiosity around Connor Ingram?
I think that a team at any level of sports, in any sport, any decent coach or management team should not put an athlete in a position to fail. Connor Ingram has had some very difficult times in his life, and he's trying to rebuild his hockey career. So does calling him up from the AHL, what did you say his save percentage was in the AHL?
405. Or 405 GA, save percentage is 848 right now. Right.
So why would anybody want to put him in a position to then play games in the NHL in a better league? I think that's dangerous. If he's playing poorly in the AHL and then comes up and plays poorly in the NHL, then it's going to be like, well, why did you even call him up? Sure, I realize the frustration with Skinner and Pickard. I get it.
Yep.
But why put a goalie in that situation? If he reels off a good 15-game stretch in the AHL and then is called up and doesn't play well in the NHL, then at least, the Oilers managers could say, well, he earned a chance, okay? And then he didn't do it on the big stage. I don't think there can be any consideration to call him up in the NHL unless obviously there's an injury, or B, he actually has many good starts in the AHL. I mean, if you want him to be a goalie for this year, and who knows, maybe beyond, if he plays well, you have to put him in a position to succeed.
Reid, Rick, excellent stuff as always, my friend. I will see you on Wednesday.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Tom. Love you.
There's Reid Wilkins with Reid's Reid, brought to you by Ewell. All right. Well, we're going to wind things down here. The Oilers get the 5-4 win in overtime. Jack Roslovic, the hero, big save from Stu Skinner late in the game. In OT, and then a nice pass by Wallman up to Roslovic, sent him in on the breakaway, and he converts. We do need to get to the player of the game with Benny Thomson. The player of the game brought to you, as always, by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He's community-driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Benny, take it away.
Player of the game today, he's a leader. apparently, according to you, Tom, shredded the guys after a Saturday.
That's what I was told.
Awful performance against the Colorado Avalanche. Comes out tonight, scores 2 beautiful goals. Was around everywhere. It just felt like the old version of himself was back here tonight. Clean shaven. Connor McDavid is gonna get player of the game today. I know he's first star, and I hate giving first star player of the game, but you could tell he dragged his team into the fight tonight, and that's what I've been saying. Yeah. Him and Draisaitl, they need to do that, and they did that. Specifically McDavid tonight. You could tell that he just refused to be stopped. Scored 2 big goals, just basically just dragged his team when they were down bad in the second and third period. There's times there too. Just brutal. So, Connor McDavid dragging his team back in, scores 2 nice goals. He's your player of the game tonight.
All right, well done, Benny, as always. I'm going to list off a couple of things Swainer sent in stat-wise. Brian Swain, of course, texts in to me, says, in 5 of the last 7 games and 6 of the last 10 for the Oilers, the team that initially has gone ahead by 2 goals with the lead has ended up losing. The Oilers win when trailing by 2 versus Montreal, versus Utah, versus Columbus. Oilers lose when leading by 2 versus the Rangers, St. Louis, and Dallas. So again, kind of the Jekyll and Hyde theme brought up there by Swainer via the stats and what this team has done so far this season through 17 games. They are... I mean, I was saying how the East is tight, Benny, but the West too, in Pacific. Outside of Anaheim, which is on an absolute heater, winning 7 in a row and 9-1 in the last 10. The Golden Knights and Kraken also have 18 points, as do the Oilers and Kings. Yeah. The Oilers have played more games than the Kings. They've played 1 more than the Kings, 2 more than the Kraken, 3 more than the Golden Knights. So, yeah, there's that. Oh, by the way, San Jose is right there, a point behind them, and they've rattled off 3 straight victories all of a sudden. So pretty tight, too, outside of St. Louis and Calgary, maybe even Nashville in the Western Conference as well. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Sorry for dropping the S-bomb. I feel shame.
It was needed, though.
They think it was necessary? I appreciate that. I mean... I'll be okay. As always, thank you for the text. We appreciate it. It got a little heated at times. Always appreciate the nasty chat as well. The Oilers get the win, 5-4 in overtime. And the crowd appreciative tonight after booing the team off the ice in the second period. And we'll see if this helps them on this 7-game road trip. We are off tomorrow on EST. It is Remembrance Day, lest we forget. Don't forget to wear your poppies to all those that sacrifice their lives for us so we could have our freedoms and get to do what we get to do in our great nation. So without further ado, that's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show for Shawn, Belle, Reid, Wilkins, and Ben Thomson. I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy the rest of your Monday. Have a great night, everyone.